What is up, my fellow Chibits? Today, I'm here to bring all of you the weekly anime review of Shomin Sample. So we enter into our final arc of this series, and I gotta say, I'm a little bit sad, because I thought that this final arc might have focused around the maid, but it doesn't seem like we're probably going to get an arc focused around her, which is very sad, because her character is very interesting, and there's been very subtle signs that she has more going on behind the scenes than what we're led to believe. But sadly enough, I don't think Shomin Sample, the anime, is going to be covering that. So, kind of disappointed on that end. But for one, this episode focuses on Reiko. And if you're a Reiko fan, you're probably going to enjoy this arc, and you're probably going to enjoy this episode. But I gotta say that this arc we're getting into is something I have actually seen quite a bit, and seen a lot before in other harem romance series. For one, speaking of a couple, To Love Ru, or another good prime example is DXD. I've seen, this, a girl is about to get married to a guy, and then she doesn't want to marry this guy, and then the main male character and the other cast of girls have to help her out. I've seen this plotline before. And honestly speaking, this entire episode was very plain. Like, everything was very predictable. It almost felt like a carbon copy of what I saw in DXD, besides some certain characteristics. But, for the most part, the formula of this episode, when it came to saving the girl she doesn't want to get married, was very same. I mean, you even had the brother that wanted to help out the main male character because, the brother doesn't want to see his little sister get married off. And so, that was kind of what the entire episode was about. Now, there is one thing I have to say that this episode did rather correct compared to other episodes of anime I've seen that does this exact same formula, is that Shomin Sample, it actually makes this entire situation a little bit believable, because, for one, our main male character Kimito being there in the school, he was there to kind of change up the school. For instance, make it to where girls could see how commoners live, and kind of allow it to where they could communicate with guys a lot better. And to see how it's built up over multiple episodes, it's kind of believable to see how Kimito and all the other girls might want to help him out to stop this marriage, because they've kind of learned the commoner way of how to change themselves and not, live exactly, like a noble or high-class person, like, what's going on with Reiko. And so, I mean, that's one thing that this episode does rather correct, but for the most part, the episode, it was rather bland to me. I have to admit, it was a very bland episode to me, just because of the overall, I guess, presentation of the episode, what it was about. I mean, the entire episode was just predictable. And I mean, it really comes down to your taste. I mean, if you've seen this stuff a lot, you're probably going to be on my side. And if you haven't seen this stuff a lot, you're probably going to enjoy this episode. So don't let me say that this episode is bad. I want to say right now that this episode does have its merits and good points about it. It was enjoyable. And for one thing, it didn't actually have a lot of fan service, which is pretty damn shocking. Because you'd think, since this is, Shomin Sample, it would have a lot of fan service. But it didn't. Actually, this is probably one of the most tamest episodes of Shomin Sample that didn't have much fan service. It wasn't really relying on fan service. It was actually trying to tell a plot. So anyways, that's my thoughts. I mean, just my quick thoughts on this week's episode of Shomin Sample. Not really much to talk about. We'll have to see how the conclusion is, but we all know since this is a harem romance series, everything will work out in the end, and you'll have it to where the main female character won't marry the dude. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or not wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.